Election 2024. Trump leads Biden, corruption trials, and climate urgency. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a bit of time here as I've been reflecting on our content's direction and planning some exciting changes. Moving forward, I'll focus on deep dives into single topics to explore often unnoticed nuances of the news. This shift won't mean an end to covering current events. In fact, starting today, I'll introduce a new format where we'll discuss top stories every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Recent polls reveal that former President Donald Trump is leading President Joe Biden in 5 critical battleground states. This development is particularly significant as it may signal a shift in the political landscape, potentially influencing the strategies of both major parties as they prepare for the upcoming presidential election. The shift appears to be rooted in dissatisfaction among young and non-white voters, particularly with Biden's handling of economic issues and the ongoing conflict in Gaza. A Times Siena poll conducted from late April to early May shows that Trump is ahead in states like Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, which are crucial for securing a victory in the 2024 presidential election. These findings suggest a significant erosion in support for Biden, who managed to capture these states in the 2020 election. The poll indicates a pervasive sense of unease among voters, driven by the rising cost of living and general yearning for change. Despite a 25% increase in the stock market and extensive campaign advertising by Biden, these positive developments have not translated into increased support for the president. Instead, critical issues such as immigration and economic impact of the war in Gaza continue to weigh heavily on voters' minds. This dissatisfaction is particularly acute among younger voters and communities of color who express a deep desire for substantial changes to the American political and economic systems. The shift in voter sentiment is notably dramatic among younger demographics and Hispanic and Black voters, groups that traditionally support the Democratic candidate. Trump's unexpected gain among these voters is reshaping the electoral landscape, particularly in diverse Sunbelt states. However, Biden remains competitive, especially in predominantly white northern swing states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. The polls also highlight a broader disillusionment with the political status quo, with many voters skeptical of Biden's ability to bring about meaningful change and increasingly open to alternative candidates who promise to shake up the system. This new polling data suggests that the presidential race could be highly competitive in the months to come. Understanding these shifts is crucial as they not only reflect current voter sentiment, but also potentially reshape both parties' strategies ahead of the next presidential race. Public trust in politicians is at an all-time low, and is it any wonder? In New York, Michael Cohen, former lawyer and fixer for Donald Trump, has taken the stand to testify against his former boss. This case centers on payments allegedly made to silence allegations of sexual misconduct during the 2016 presidential campaign, which could have been devastating to Trump's bid for the White House. Simultaneously, Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey faces his own legal battle, accused of accepting substantial bribes intended to sway his influence on U.S. policy in favor of Egypt and Qatar. Jury selection begins Monday in Manhattan, far from his familiar New Jersey roots, where he has long been a significant Democratic figure. His efforts to relocate the trial closer to home were unsuccessful, ensuring that the jury will be composed of residents from Manhattan, the Bronx, and nearby New York counties. The trial centers on allegations that Menendez engaged in an international bribery scheme with accusations involving over $100,000 in gold bullion and influences exerted on behalf of the Egyptian and Qatari interests. Prosecutors from the Southern District of New York anticipate spending at least 4 weeks laying out their case against Menendez, who faces charges alongside 2 New Jersey businessmen. These charges depict a complex scenario of alleged international bribes for various favors, including efforts to influence U.S. policy on foreign aid and halal meat certification. The defense is expected to challenge the credibility of the government's witnesses and may shift some of the blame to Menendez's wife, Nadine, who will face her own trial later due to health issues. Now, on a broader level, these cases highlight ongoing concerns about ethics and corruption within American politics. Polling generally suggests that fraud coming from a politician whom voters support is overlooked, whereas if dishonesty and vice comes from the other side of the aisle, it's no good. Turning to the environment, the Keeling Observatory in Hawaii has reported a record-breaking increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide levels this March, marking the largest annual leap ever observed. This spike is attributed to an increase in fossil fuel consumption and exacerbated by an El Nino weather pattern, which causes more carbon dioxide to be released from natural ecosystems. This trend is alarming to scientists and environmentalists as it signals an acceleration in the rate of climate change, underscoring the urgent need for comprehensive environmental policies and global cooperation to mitigate our impact on our planet. And thank you for watching today. For more insights on global politics and current events, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell and stay updated, and join us next time as we explore more stories that shape our most fascinating world.